Okay. All right, we'll call the public hearing open. We have a notice is hereby given that the Berlin Water Control customers of the water control will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, January 28th, 2025 at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, Room 120, 240 Kensington Road, Berlin, Connecticut, to consider the following amendment for adoption. Appendix A to Part 1, Schedule 1, Section A1, water rate schedule per 100 cubic feet equivalent to 740 gallons. Water rate, existing rate at this time is $4.57. New rate will be $4.82. Irrigation rate, $4.57. Right now, new rate will be $4.80. Water surcharge quarterly, $10. New rate, $10. Appendix A to Part 2, Section 2, Section A1, sewer use charge per 100 cubic feet. Existing rate of sewer rate, $6.52. New rate will be $6.85. Flat rate sewer quarterly, existing rate $129.33. New rate of $135.80. Sewer surcharge quarterly, $20, and new rate will be $20. Repayment of state loans for various projects. That is what the sewer surcharge is applicable for.
And the water surcharge.
And the water surcharge. At this meeting, any interested person may be heard and written communications may be received. The effective date of the new rate would be February 1st on 2025. Okay, do we have any input in regards to that in the public hearing? I see we have Jim Horrible on, and I have another citizen that is on our Zoom, and we have a citizen in attendance, Tony Letizio. And I'd like to see if anybody has any input in the direction of that.
The citizen on the Zoom, would you identify yourself? Are you going to make a comment with regards to the rate increase?
I see a little hand like there's.
Okay.
I think
How
they
do
may
you answer?
They need to unmute themselves.
Would you unmute yourself, please? Is it automatic?
No, he's doing it now.
Ask to unmute.
Is that me or him?
That's you.
Oh, can you unmute him?
No. That's her doing that. He's asking to unmute,
I think.
but
the
they have
person,
to do it.
You
Yeah.
know, that's
They're,
on you. Has to unmute.
but her hand is the one.
Can't be unmuted.
They have to do it themselves from their
site.
side.
Something just happened.
And for some reason, my mouse turns to the hand while it's sitting over that. While it hovers. When it goes out here, it's just the mouse.
Well, the citizen, can you put your question in the chat box? Or if you have a question or a comment.
Yeah, they may not want to be heard. Just want to listen.
All right, we can hear you.
Jim, can you hear us?
Yes, yes, I can.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
So I think it's working on our end.
Working our end, but I don't hear.
Oh, here there is.
No comment. Oh, okay, thank you. No comment.
All right.
Okey doke.
So we have no other comments.
Tony, you don't have any?
No set them.
Not too high or too low?
Okay. Well, since we haven't have any comments on either side.
Yeah, close the hearing.
So we can close the hearing at this point in time.
And there were no written comments as well.
No written comments at all?
No.
Okay, so we can close the hearing and we can open the regular meeting. Okay, we can call it to order. see it on here as being, having audience of citizens on here.
No,
We have,
you can add it.
okay, I'm gonna
Well,
add-
actually, you've already had it through the public hearing process, I suppose.
well, that was a public hearing, audience of citizens.
Did you want to make a comment generically, Tony?
We'll recognize audience of citizens.
As
We
an
have-
audience of citizens, was there anything you wanted to say?
Yeah, I just had, as being a new member of the Worthington Fire District, I'm just here to kind of gather how you guys do your meetings, so, you know, trying to, I don't want to say replicate, but
Duplicate?
get some tips, you know,
Well, I can give you a lot of tips.
yeah, don't play with matches.
And for an identification purposes.
Okay, so you're
this is
generic.
Anthony Letizio.
Okay.
Yes.
For
Anthony
identification
Letizio.
purposes, we have an audience of citizens. Anthony Letizio is an attendant.
Yeah, representing Worthington Fire District.
Right.
Well, just,
And himself personally.
yeah, personally.
And
Oh,
I still don't know
okay.
who the audience is.
Well, it doesn't make any difference.
Okay,
So I got a bunch of
Any
little questions here. and there.
questions?
Tony, ask away.
This is your
Ask
time.
anything you want to ask.
First off, I know you guys had a force main leak on Middletown Road at the pump station.
Correct.
You guys good?
It's all repaired.
It's all repaired?
Yep.
Okay. It went into wetlands, correct?
Correct.
Was that fixed or deep notified?
Yes,
They were, okay,
Yep.
they were cool with it?
Yep.
Okay.
I did that this morning after I closed out the notice.
Oh, good, okay.
Yep.
Cool. Because I drove by it a couple of times and I'm like, what the heck's going on?
No, actually, we were lucked out because it went into the wetlands and it didn't go into the water body. So that was one of the positive things. I talked to Deep directly.
Good, that's good. And in general, is Berlin Water Commission a separate entity?
Yes, it is.
From the town of
It's an
Berlin?
enterprise system.
It's an enterprise system?
Yeah.
And,
According to your minutes, your chairperson doesn't seem to understand that. But anyway, that's the whole point. We pay, and we basically have provided fund. Actually, Jim and I have sat with Stanley Smolsky about 3 times or 4 times and gave him the actual, and Tom Nedzowicki, when Tom was alive, we actually gave him our budget, which I can give you anytime if they want. All our budget details are broken down into 2 categories, water and sewer. And water and sewer portions are prorated, 1 to 3. So basically, water is 1 portion, and then sewer, we actually have 2. So we divide our funds that way, and we have budgets for both of them. We actually pay for all the physical. I pay for a rental for this building, and I pay for services to the finance office. I pay for Jim's salary, Mike Hearn's salary, and Lisa's salary, and portions of it, not the complete one, but what portions of it prorated. And all our records are open, so if you were interested, either you or personally, or Worthington Fire District.
so just in general, with that being said,
Correct.
how many employees that are on the field?
All of them.
No, I know, how many?
Oh, 4, I'm sorry.
4.
Yep.
Okay. Their salaries come from this commission,
Correct.
okay? The vehicles that they use,
It comes out of this commission. We just bought a brand new truck for $105,000.
okay? And who does the repairs, like does the highway
Our
department?
highway does, and we pay for our highway services to us.
They send you an invoice, you pay that,
We pay them directly.
okay? And
We
then,
pay for the police, we pay the finance office, and we pay for all the other services that we usually get. As I said, we pay for the rental to the building that I have for my office.
okay, and then what about the rental at the highway garage for that building there?
That's our building. It's not the highways, it's our building.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a separate building down in.
No, I know where it is, yeah. So now my next question though is, and again, this is all just me trying to filter.
No, that's fine.
Understand.
It
all
needs
this.
to be understood.
Excuse me. Worthington has had this same question, and in my mind's eye, I'm not really sure where they're going with it. Danbury, Manchester, New Britain, all these other municipalities have the same type of arrangement, whether you go to Wallingford, whether you go to Meriden, all of them have the same type of thing. Basically an enterprise program, but they do have services within the town that they utilize. They don't go to a separate company for HR, for instance.
Okay, so
Okay,
now,
so they utilize those services and they pay a specific portion either by salary or by direct operation. I pay for the electrical bills, I pay for all those things that we technically.
okay, now with the vehicle, for the vehicles,
What vehicles are we
the
talking about?
service vehicles that I see on the road,
Yeah, those are ours. We
okay,
actually purchase them.
okay. They have the town of Berlin logo, or town of Berlin seal on it,
Correct.
and the license plates are the town of Berlin, municipal plates.
Right. What do you think, we're independent to another town? Basically, we're a department of the town, but our finances are run separately because you're a separate entity. Just like if you go into Berlin, New Britain, the vehicles there are gonna say New Britain, it's not gonna say New Britain Water Department, separate than the what, town of New Britain.
Some of them do have water department on.
Well, they do on there, on the truck itself, but not on the license plates.
Oh, no, they're all
No, but they're,
NBs.
the water department is a division of. the city.
Yeah, we're a department of the
Okay,
town.
but everything,
It's a quasi, it runs parallel with it. It's a separate entity, bills are paid separately, but it runs in the function of the town. Town,
Are you understanding this? It's a-
I am, I'm just
But
trying to,
where is this all going, Tony?
me personally, I'm trying to
Well,
comprehend.
no, these are
it
the same
only-
questions that Josh has
Well,
brought up.
I don't know.
Well, of course you know that, we're in the minutes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ray, if I can just offer a comment to Tony, as you said, you've offered the budget to him. And Tony, within the line items, you'll see each line item references a value. And then there's a written description of each one of the values. You know, what percentage of dollars come from what account? Like Ray is saying, the town, water control pays a quarter of my salary. Public Works pays 3/4 of it. Same with Micah Hearn, same with Lisa Panessa. It's all there.
Okay, and it's just something that I'm inquiring about.
Well, no, to talk.
No, I
November
understand, right?
20th, in the meeting that you
I
had in
wanted
the
to-
minutes,
I
excuse
wanted
me for a
to-
second, in the minutes, and I think you were there, and Danny Letizio was there, at the second page of that page was comments, I guess, by Stosh, because it's not clear who made it, because their budget is done by the finance department. Their vehicle repairs are done by the town garage. They use the town's attorney. Where is he going with this, and what's the point?
I think that's why Tony is here.
Can you wait for a minute, like I finish?
But
Basically, the point of it is why are you so interested in how this functions? This is a diversion in terms of responsibility. This issue that was being brought up was the issues of what Worthington was not doing, not what we were doing. Our books are open. We have a financial record every year. We produce it. We have a town meeting, and within the town meeting, all our budget items are there. And we've individually given them to your staff people, time and time again. Mr. Smolsky, I've met 3 or 4 times going over it.
Well,
and
I
try-
understand, Ray, that I was elected in May.
I
We didn't
understand,
have
Tony,
any
so I'm not
meetings
holding you
until-
responsible. I'm telling you as a Worthington Fire District representative, I don't want to, give you a hard time. But these same points keep coming up, and I don't understand what the point of it is. I really don't. What do you want us to do? Move out of town? I really don't understand where we're going with this.
No, not at all.
Well, this is the problem.
I'm not
And
asking you to
Chairman
move out of
Pager
town.
said
You
that the
want to move
town-
out of town, by all means.
Chair-
But I'm not
Chairman
telling you to
Pager
ask-
said that the town and BWC takes over the district, then this would be a bigger burden to the residents of the town, creating more salaries, more pensions, more overhead in general. Where is he coming up with this?
And that's who,
That was your chairperson at your meeting. Chairman Pager also commented that everyone should do their own jobs and stop worrying about what everyone else is doing. WFG is doing what we have to do and keeping up with the repairs and maintenance, and he hopes that the other water districts are doing the same. BWC should be running as an enterprise fund, which they claim to be, and stop running against charter, which I don't understand what that means. But the reality
so
is
what
this.
meeting was that at?
That was the November 20th meeting. You were there in attendance.
Okay.
Now, the point of it is
And I
this.
believe Liam was there too.
Absolutely.
Yes, he was. here's the other point to this. You're not keeping up with the mechanics. Nobody reads your 2009, go read your 2009 water supply plan, which I just got a couple months ago. I read it, and I see you had $2.5 million of things that have not been done. And they should have been done by 2020, 2015. Not one of them has been done. What do you think today's dollars is going to be? $4 to $6 million. That's going to be Worthington's obligation. They owe us over $1 million from Middletown. We pump your waste away to the Mattabesset. You never pay me. Worthington never pays us for anything for that pumping station. Not a penny. Since 1973, not a penny. And we have an agreement that should have been paid for. So you stepped in it. I know you don't know about it, but I'm just telling you about it because you're here as the representative.
Yeah, you're kind of hammering me and I'm trying to just.
Well, I'm not
get out of the
hammering
way.
you. I'm telling you, this is history that's applied. You can go back and talk to these folks. They know about it. They've talked about it. Jim Sullivan's very keen on this whole issue. He was looking at mediation so you guys could pay us the $1 million you owe. That was $1 million in 2020. I don't even know what a 1.5% for every month since then would be.
So should we expect to see a sheriff or a marshal at our office
No.
serving us papers?
For
Yeah,
what?
I'm
We're not
sorry. to
taking any
promote
legal
this.
action.
Oh, okay. Well, you're bringing it up as if,
Well, it was intended to do some mediation. Your district didn't want to do any mediation. We left it at that because we didn't see anything productive coming out of it.
You have more questions?
Ray, I have to say something here. The man's coming here. He's relatively new as a commissioner.
Oh, yeah.
You're
I'm sorry if I come
overwhelming him.
across to you, but
Okay.
I know.
Yeah, it took me a while to absorb all this stuff. But in all, there's a lot of frustration, and here's the main frustration. The bill from Mattabesset comes to Ray's office. You guys submit back what you think is fair, and so does Worthington. And you know who pays the difference on that? Of all the I&I that we're just now categorizing over the years that we've been getting millions of dollars, it's going to be a bill for you now because we've got meters in place because of the frustration. It's in the millions. We've had to pay it. 2,900 people in this town had to pay that bill.
Yeah, 'cause
29, but my point is, it's not a war between the three districts. We're all in the same bloody town. It's just that it's so disproportionate that we're picking up all of the Skinner Street, some of these other streets, the Worthington Ridge, that haven't even been built in 30 years. We didn't know they were going into our sewer system. These are all I&I that is coming back to our customers. So the frustration here is that we can't put meters in all of them because in a matter of a couple of years, you'd be bankrupt. You know, it's just has to be that you don't have enough overhead to provide to what bills are going to be coming. I mean, I've estimated all the
The
stuff.
unfortunate thing, you walked into something a little bit late, Tony. And
It's very
getting
frustrating.
expanded to a point, you walked into a problem that are coming to a head right now.
Yeah, it's many years,
Unfortunately.
Tony. So don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to attack you, but here's the point. A lot of what, and I find this very upsetting to me because Chairman Pager is another individual who doesn't know all the details. I've read all the minutes going back historically for this program. And I've gone back in the minutes in other ages and locations to figure out. I've also looked at the reports. I've looked at a lot of information and I'm very familiar with it. You basically had a problem at Webster Heights for over 50 years. So the last 10 years, or you were actually looking at it. So what? And then they apply and don't do the project. To me, it's crazy. That area has got a water problem. It's got a sewer problem.
It's got a health
It
problem.
hasn't been addressed. It hasn't been addressed. This gentleman here who worked for Cardinal Engineering knows. He's very familiar with the Cardinal issue there. And we also verified it with another company. We put a meter in there. We found out that there's a lot of leakage going on. And let me give you another example of how responsive Worthington has been. In 2012, when Art Simonian basically wanted to do a relining project, he did a relining all the way from Webster Webster Square, down to our pump station. That's the biggest line. According to a report back in 1996 by CDM, basically said that's the worst case scenario. You need to do it. So we did. So we got federal and state money to pay for that project, right? So basically what happened is that they needed to subdivide the project. And basically, so that all three utilities got to pay for it. Then we offered you, Worthington, and the Cardinal Engineering was the engineer here at the same time, to do extra work. You guys said, no, we don't want to do any extra work. We go out to bid. Well, you haven't gone out to bid. And we also, basically, they relined Lower Lane. Now, Lower Lane, from the data they had in 1998, every 4 foot, there was a crack. I don't understand how, between those two manholes, how that line even existed, because there was a crack. I saw this physically, a crack every 4 feet, and that was repaired. Did you want to do anything else? No. Art Power said no. Art Simonian went out to him and actually begged them to do it. No. He says, we're going to go out to bid. You haven't gone out to bid. And that's 2012. And then finally you had a Cindy Lane, you had a collapse. You had a collapse. Leo Kamoshi calls me up, he's working out there because it's a collapsed sewer line. These are things that you guys are supposed to be on top of. And you should be going back to your guys and saying, well, wait a minute. They're telling me these are these problems. How do we handle them? And I don't think they have handled it. So I'm not blaming you because you've stepped into it, but you're also the spokesperson going back to them and telling them, these are issues we need to address. When are we going to address them? You have over $2.5 million of stuff that you said that Worthington said that they were going to do. Not my words, their words, and they haven't done it.
So I think you're gonna put those concerns in writing.
Yes, he's going to answer that.
Ask it.
Tony, my suggestion, you want to know a lot more what's going on, give Ray a call and set up a meeting with Ray and have a discussion with Ray. They'll give you everything.
Well, I did. I had a meeting with him in Costco. I thought it was a neutral place.
Keep in mind, all your sewer lines are way past due for replacement.
Tony, the vitrified clay. You know what? You've worked.
Greeks had the same thing.
You've worked in the business. You're
2,000
familiar
years
with all that stuff. Vitrified clay. I mean, we're going back a long time ago.
90
And
years.
doing what you're going to do now, and I saw the minutes too. Hodgepodge and Band-Aid approach by grout. Let me tell you, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's short term. You're wasting your money. You plug up the thing and it's gone. The only way to go is put with a lining. A lining, when you put a liner in, you're guaranteed almost 75 years, at least.
And no joints.
No joints. And so that's the whole thing. You know what? On the table at 2012, on Ford Drive, right next to where we live, just down the street from Sebi, basically what happens is that there's leakage there, and we knew it all the time, and we didn't want to correct it. And when that was going into the Belcher Brook, when we did the Belcher Brook process, we couldn't correct it, and you didn't want to correct it. No, on Dunham Drive off the, was it Ford Drive? Ford Drive. That still exists. All these things exist, and
So
so
the
that's.
district needs good engineering.
Well, that was the study that you're doing right now, that we've seen a lot of I've seen in your minutes where you had that you've done these studies. Well, some of these studies are 3-4 years old that are on there, which is a little frustrating because we asked what studies are done and we haven't gotten anything. Now all of a sudden we got some studies 3-4 years old.
Stosh told our attorney outright he didn't have any INI data. Now I'm looking at the minutes, and this is a journal evaluating the INI data. So something's wrong in this process. I don't understand it. How could you have data, talk about it, and then tell our attorney that you don't have it? And we have to ask for it in an FOIA, Freedom of Information? I'd be ashamed to have a district come to me and tell me I'm only going to give you information as in an FOIA.
And the important part of this equation of what he's talking about and what he's talking about in the subject matter is this INI problem. Art Simonian and EPA or DEEP are coming down on our throat because our INI right now is exceeding majorly, where New Britain is getting better. Cromwell is unbelievably better than us. we suck. And they're coming
Well-
down our throat to get it fixed. And unfortunately, you guys,
Just to
Kensington or whatever, are part of the problem.
Just to clarify a point, what he says is correct. What happens is this, is now Mattabesset is basically on our backs. All the other towns, Middletown, New Britain, and also Cromwell, are all upset with us because the fact of the matter is that we seem to be bringing in more I&I and costing them more money. And that's the biggest problem. That's one of the reasons we had a meeting at the Mattabesset. Joe was there. Stanley Smolsky, although he didn't say anything, but he was there, and also Dan McKeon was there. And nobody offered anything. Nobody said that they were doing an I&I study. No information was gathered. However, we're the ones that we were charged 16% last year. Nobody was even charging the double figures. This year, we're being charged 10%, and almost 11%, and everybody else is still in 3 or 4%. So that gives you an impression we've got a problem to solve. And we think we've done our due diligence, but we don't really think that Worthington and Kensington have done their due diligence in this.
Ray, just to offer a comment when we talk about the three systems, and you look at the age of the systems, and Tony, you know, you've been in the business. Berlin Water Control was formed in the late 60s, and PVC pipe came out late 60s, early 70s. Probably 90% of the system that we've inherited, other than portions of East Berlin, which we inherited, are PVC pipe. When we think about Kensington and Worthington that go back to the 1920s, they're vitrified clay or they're italic pipe, and the joints are all leaking like a sieve. And nothing's being done about it.
And to be on that commission, I am on that commission that is talking about the percentages. They are isolating us out as a major part of it. And they're going to hand us a bill for close to $1 million, pretty close. And the percentage from this year, dollar amount, we're supposed to pay a little over 200,000. It's going to be over 300,000 next year. Okay. Last year it was 2.7. This year, the year coming up, it's going to be over 3. And that's all coming Berlin's way because the other towns are screaming and saying, hey, this is our percentage. We keep our numbers down. We're allowed 10, 15%. We're only doing 3%. We're only going to pay up to the 10%. We're not going to pay anything else. And what's going to happen is the money that we're paying in extra is going to go to those towns as a reward.
Tony, I'm thrilled that you came because I've always been trying to show people this. This was our pipe put in 1967 when Berlin Water Control was created because East Berlin was going defunct. This is ductile iron from 1967. You can see it's a pretty good. This is your pipe
Worthington's.
on Middletown Road going to East Berlin. When we inherited that East Berlin, we inherited this. This was your pipe going to East Berlin.
Let him see the inside.
Oh, I'll
He
bring it over
knows
so you
what
can-
it looks like.
I know exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, we know, exactly. This is why we've had pre-main breaks. It's not our pipe. It was Worthington's pipe. We never put it in. And so when Joe says that these are our breaks, these are breaks of because of Worthington, not because of us. This is definitely something I have to rely over a mile.
So,
And the one point I want to make, it's not Worthington Ridge and Berlin going at it. We're all citizens of this town. It's just gotten so overwhelming. They think it's something that it's a competition.
Worthington, now Worthington.
Our
Worthington District.
Worthington District. It's not a competition. It's a matter of these 2,900 people that we represent. We got to look out for them, and we're getting clobbered here. They are paying a lot of extra money they should not be paying,
Any
and it's
more
because of
questions?
management.
Any more questions?
You want to continue listening to the business?
All set. Thank you very much for.
You
your
opened up a can of worms. I'm sorry, Tony.
I'm just trying to gather information in general.
You can come in and visit me anytime in my office that I'm renting out. And basically, you can sit there and I'll help you. I bring in my own chocolates, by the way, so I can sweeten your visit.
Wow.
But here's the point.
You
I'm
can
serious.
join me in the
You can actually sit down and I can go over and show you a lot of the details here, because I don't think, and I give you a lot of credit, because here's the point. I don't think anybody from Worthington's ever come back and ever sit down and listen to us in terms of what their issues are. What they do is divert it. Oh, who is paying you? Well, you're paying for your truck. You're paying for this. That's a diversion. What I'm talking about is a problem. Let's solve the problem. That's what Liam's talking about. We're all in the same town. Solve the problem. And the problems are both, and we know we have problems. We know you have problems in Kensington as well.
We
So
don't-
those
we don't
problems
want-
have to be fixed for the town.
We don't want to get.
I'm not
into the
getting
point
anything
of
extra out of this whole process. So, I mean, I'm trying to do the best I can with what I have here.
You are, you're getting agitated.
It's a twofold. One,
Okay.
we don't want to get it to when
That's too fast.
something breaks. We'd like to alleviate it before that happens. And two, before we get a bill that's astronomical. I mean, we don't know what happened last week or the week before when we had a break, or Kensington had a break on Purcell Avenue and we had to shut the senior center down. And that was shut down for the whole afternoon. And we get an astronomical bill from Mattabassett and they go totally nuts. And then DEP comes down their throat, EPA comes down their throat, so, and then it comes down.
Yes,
all of us.
the relationship is this. DEP is basically not giving NPDS permit discharge to Mattabassett because of the high INI. And so it does impact them. So when they can't get an INI discharge into the Connecticut River, they're sitting there and saying, how do we address this? And then they're holding us responsible. And I can't do anything for Worthington and Kensington. You know that. First thing I do is they reject everything I even suggest. Webster Heights, I had a whole suggestion about how it was going to do it and a good way to financially do it. They discarded it. And Joe thinks that I shut it down. I didn't shoot it down. It was voted down in the group because it wasn't done properly.
So, anything else?
But the only thing I will say is, no, thank you for,
Well, I
Filling me in a
appreciate you
little bit
coming in.
more.
Thank you very much.
and just in general, and being in this town close to 38 years now, I can honestly say that, and being in the waterworks industry, as Jim knows, for 30 plus years, there's new innovative products out there, okay, that will supersede clay, copper, ductile iron, okay, that I think that each and every water district in the entire United States has old pipe that needs to be fixed or taken out, replaced.
Exactly.
So I just think it's identifying it and getting it and working together, putting it so that we, not only as commissioners, but citizens of the town of Berlin, to make it a better, safer place for us.
I think we've done that. We've done the relining on 2012, which was Art Simonian's thing, and I think Art did the best thing. It didn't come across that way when they first had their first quarterly meeting with Worthington and Kensington. And then the second one we did with again, Cardinal Engineering, which did a great job. Warren was really responsible for it. Basically, the fact of the matter is when we did the Belcher Brook, that was also a big thing that had to be done. It hadn't been done at all. And so the funny thing about it is once that's done, I look at it and say, 75 years, I'm not going to be here. Somebody else is going to enjoy it for quite a while. And that's great. But plugging up, and you can get this message to Joe, plugging it up on a Band-Aid approach isn't going to work for long term. It's going to be short term. These 4-foot pieces, they shift and move. We just had an earthquake over in Maine. Going to be a little bit of shaking all over the place. And then the fact of the matter is, when that happens, it opens up cracks.
It's like Tony said, though, we all got to, not just what we did in the past, but we got in the future, look towards new material and new equipment.
That is new material that we're going to use for the relining.
How long ago?
When we did the Belcher Brook, that was
How many years ago?
what, 6, 7 years ago?
6, 7 years.
what we used for relining was plastic. I have a piece of it in the office.
Okay.
Tony, very good, thank you.
Tony, come back.
We didn't injure you, I hope, so we're all set.
All right.
I'm all good. Thank you,
Good.
guys. Appreciate it.
Take one of these so that you can pass it along to your staff there. So.
Ray,
An agenda?
John is on
I
the
have
line.
Is there a John who wants to make a comment?
He
No.
just popped up.
No, it was on
His
there
name.
before.
He's been on a while.
Yeah, I know he has, but it was no
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
It was
The
citizen.
citizen we had on has gone off. John came on, but I don't know who that is. I don't know. Any comments anymore? The audience of citizens? Okay.
Okay, you gotta take a vote on the,
Approval of minutes.
over the minutes.
Approval of minutes,
So moved.
moved by Liam, second,
Second.
second by Sebi. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Contrary minds, nay. Okay. New business. Public hearing action.
So moved as what our chairman reads it at.
So we didn't have any input, any commentary or whatever from the proposal of the public hearing. So we can entertain a motion to approve the public hearing new rate increase.
So
Liam
moved.
just did that.
He just motioned
Liam
it.
moved
Okay,
to
motion by
accept the
Liam,
rate.
second by
Dave.
Dave. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All contrary minds, nay.
Just waking up.
Any abstentions? Okay. Baxter Avenue.
Wait a minute, you just skipped one.
Yeah, you skipped.
Oh, town
Town
council
council
approval of emergency backup contract.
Okay, so the rate increase has been increased. That's a 5% rate increase. It'll be effective as of the end of this week, which would be our first billing is in February, so that would be the first time it actually gets in place.
February 1st, 5%.
Yeah, we do our billing late in February. That's the path of Connecticut Water Company when they do the billings. They do it in late February. Item 3.2 is town council approval of emergency backup. If you recall, we went out originally back in September to go out to bid for the emergency contractor. Earth Contractors was the one and only individual entity that was bid, and we accepted the bid. We did go out because Worth indicated to us that they had a lot of other avenues and work that had to be done. They've done work for Regional, Cromwell, and other Southerton and other towns in the area. As a result of, they anticipated that we should be able to find other contractors. We did. We went out again in I'd say early November, and this time we had 6 individual contractors that came back, and we put them in list, and basically the town council approved them. So we have 6 contractors that now are backups for the Earth Contractors. Item 3.3, Baxter Avenue meter justification. We sent a justification for the operation of, or divvying up the bill from Mattabesset district, and Kensington was supposed to respond back to us. We've spent about $80,000 with Wright Pierce and their vendor to fix that meter, and basically it's operational. It was calibrated by Knapp Engineering, and that came back very good, so it's right on the money. Meriden meeting, 3.4. We've met with Meriden staff. I met with them and then followed up with an email last week, and no reply. I have to basically call them and see what happens. I believe the new gentleman there, Bill Norton, is probably overwhelmed because they also have about $45 million worth of projects that they're basically looking at to fund and to go through. So a lot of that is basically going to be problematic for him because the state's also requiring a lot of additional information. I just got a letter the other day requiring some additional financial information on our connection. Our connection is roughly anticipated, although we haven't gone out to bid, it's expected to be about $1.4 million. And
The new guy is Bill Norton.
Bill Norton, just as a reference to you, Tony, the reason or the rationale for that Meriden connection is this. Our storage tank at Lamentation Mountain has indicated that there's corrosion internally. I've had a company that's basically sent a diver down and also a robot, and two different companies have verified that we do have corrosion there. And we know we can't take the tank out of service without having an alternate supply. So basically, we would make a connection to the Meriden. Now, this connection to Meriden would also help us too, because it would not only meet some emergency conditions potentially, but in the long run, Meriden is actually looking at purchasing water from us, so that they would have to put in pumping equipment there. We would not have, because on our side, we would actually have a pressure reducing valve, so we wouldn't have to have any pumping. We would just have to meter. We've already designed the main. We're looking at hoping to go to bid sometime early spring, midsummer, for the construction, and have the construction done by this year. And I'm anticipating working on the Lamentation tank sometime next year. That's our intent right now, anyway. 3.5 diversion permit submission. Annually as a requirement, and Lisa basically knows because Lisa really does the information. We take the daily readings actually from each of the wells, well 1B and 2A. DEP threw us a curveball last month. In the late November, they sent us and they wanted to put it on another format. So we told them we would like to finish off with the old format, and they allowed us to do that, and that we will be putting in all the new data at the end of January on the 2025 format, which is slightly different, but substantially, it could be a little bit time to get used to, but it's the same material but produced in a different way. 3.6, Deming Road Pump Station. We've had an alarm issue. Although this is a new facility and it's ready to go, it's $3.2 million. 70% of that has actually been paid for by MDC. The next payment is March 15th. And at that time, they would have paid almost $1 million. So it's coming out pretty good. It's on a 5-year repayment schedule. They agreed to that. And so we're working at that. And then the alarm system's apparently having a little bit of an issue. One of the routers apparently was defective, so it's being replaced. It's on order. And hopefully that'll be the issue corrected. So we're anticipating that we'll have that done sometime in February.
Is that covered under the warranty?
Ray, and that,
Yes.
and that item is under warranty, correct?
You must have thought the same thing Sebi did. Yes, pretty sure it's under warranty, so we won't be. There's a little bit of question about, I did have to pay advanced alarms because we called them up separately. They're our alarm company. NAP was part of the original project, so I don't think that that's going to be a cost from NAP. They're going to install it. So I think we're pretty well set, but I don't anticipate a big expenditure there right now.
Warranty.
Okay, the next item, 3.7, Kensington Fire District bypasses, just as an FYI. I'm copied from DEP on a number of issues, and on Upson Avenue, which is a surprise to be the last storm we had back in, I think it was in November, when we had the heavy rainfall. That Upson Avenue always pops up through the manhole, and poor woman there, she gets all the sewage right onto our lawn. And there was a backup on Farmington Avenue, so those were two that were noticed recently. And then
Now that was besides the ones that were already reported last year. When did these happen?
No, the ones that weren't reported last year, that came up at the Mattabesset meeting.
I have those, but this
happened in fairly recently, I think in December. Yeah, because I was surprised that it was right in the middle of December.
But this has occurred at that Upson Avenue prior?
Yes, yeah, but sometime in December, I'm pretty sure. I don't have it with me, but what do you have? Do you have something else?
These are the DEP. They were sent to me by the bypass.
Oh, this is from the Mattabesset.
Yeah.
Yeah. He always sends us a thing. This goes back in early May, though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
These are
Yeah, we
different,
had
but
a
it
wet
should be
year,
something
so
similar.
I've gotten about 3 or 4 letters from Art on that.
Yeah.
All right.
That's different. than
That's
the
their
DEP.
bypass. This is,
This is a deep bypass process.
All right.
Yeah, I have one of the things that was submitted to them. Last item on here is 3.8 Commissioner Appreciation. I think you all got emails that started up with Chris Edge. There's going to be, I think it's February. Are you going to Florida?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's coming back to that.
Yeah, I'm flying all the way back from that house. February 13th, I think Commissioner Appreciation Day.
Send your private jet out.
Yeah, and I don't know, I haven't been to one of those in quite a while, so I don't know what to anticipate, but I guess it's like a freebie, it's a meeting at the art studio
Last time they
over
had it
on
at the-
Farmington Avenue.
Last time they had it at the truck. place.
Yeah.
So where is
I
this
enjoyed
place?
Painting.
it. Right across from, is the dollar store there? I think it's
Yeah.
right across the street.
Right across the street from the Hop House. On Steel Street.
Oh, it's Steel
The
Street.
Yeah,
Steel
before you go
Boulevard.
underneath
Steel Boulevard.
the
As
pass.
an art studio.
Yeah.
And they're kind of
It's in a new
sponsoring it.
building.
Okay.
And
They
then
have
you
an
sent
art
out the
act-
latest notice on that also.
Art
because-
activity that people can take something home.
That's if they're an artist.
Okay, the last item on here, or old business, is this, 4.1, and this is the update on the lead service line replacements. We've had, as I said, almost 2,900 customers. Out of the 2,900 customers, 458 had unknowns. So we've been able to whittle that down. I've had about 89 calls, maybe then that number might be a little shaky because there's a few people who intentionally were going to take pictures and hadn't taken pictures yet and resubmitted them. But out of those, only 6 have had galvanized piping, and I've had to send them separate letters from the state on that. And the rest of them are now okay. Most of them are copper piping, so we're pretty good. So we anticipate sending out another notice in February and seeing if we can get a few more compliance and whittle that number down by the end of the year. So that's what we'll do.
Like to get it down to 0.
Well, that's what I'd like to eventually, and I don't think we'll get 0, but we'll get it down to low enough where we can send our staff out to actually go out and take a look at the rest. So that's what I'm hoping by the end of the year. That's my plan right now.
All right.
And I think are we entertaining executive session? The motion?
Motion to go into executive session.
You need to ask to have an agenda item added if you want
Correct.
it to be.
Oh, yeah, because we don't have an
executive
agenda
session.
item. So somebody want to move an agenda item on there for executive session?
So moved.
Moved by Liam. Second. Second, Dave. All in favor, say aye.
Okay,
That's
I
what
need
I'm
to
saying.
stop the recording. This is executive session, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we
Great to
don't,
see you, Seth.
Positive.
Jim, you look like you're in deep.
And I was going to say, no action was taken during executive.
Oh, right, correct, no action.
yeah, no action was taken.
A lot of verbiage, but no action.
Okay.
I make a
for-
motion to adjourn.
Okay,
Second,
Don't need a second.
that's right, you're
All in
right.
favor, aye.
You can tell he goes to the
Aye.
Manabasset meeting, that's good. Thank you, gentlemen, so
Alrighty.
appreciate it. Dave, have a nice time there in Florida. Hope it's warm.
We are going to be jealous.